If you're hearing those insects in the background, it's because it's nighttime. Tamayura just can't step out during the day. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dbt04 here. Today we are back with another Cray Cross Epic deck. This time I actually read a bit of the lore, so I'm not that autistic. Today we are covering Shiryuki / Nightmare Dolls, or as the culturally appropriate will know it as Live Twins, or I don't know what other meta joke you can make out of this, but we actually have a searcher for both Hanzo and Yasue in the same deck. So if you're not worried about global apocalypse, I don't know what is. So this is what the main tree of the deck looks like. It's really quite straightforward. It's a multi-attacking deck in Dragon Empire that once again features a waifu that, you know, just has a lot of different concepts in it. It's basically just every other Dragon Empire deck, but this one focuses less on retire and more of just the whole multi-attacking aspect. And they also have the whole Shiryuki effect back. So if you are a great fan of Hyuga, man, you're gonna enjoy this. So let's get right into it. So our right deck, as you can see, is just multing forms of Tamayura. One is from obviously the webtoon, the others are original to the card game. So let's break it down. The Grade 0 Tamayura starter is just a generic starter. You would really only play this if you don't like your current Dragon Empire starter, so yeah. Or if you're playing this deck, yeah. This one, the Grade 1 Tamayura, her skill is when you ride it on top of the Grade 0 Tamayura, you search the top 7 cards of your deck for one of the dolls, or the fuse, or the fox spell, and add it to your hand. So basically the 3 cards I just showed you just now. The Grade 2 is when you ride it on top of the Grade 1, you search your drop for one of the dolls and add it to your hand. So you may be wondering, how does it get to the drop, man? Oh, because you discarded it to open the right deck. Your Grade 3, when she rides on top, gets nothing. Yes, but she has a better skill. This card has, during your right phase, it chooses you the player personally, and she gives you a skill that all the units in your front row gain 5k. So even before you persona ride, you already will make sure that on turn 4, your front row already gets a 5k boost, which is quite insane. So think of it like Final Rush, but Final Rush has a power now. Second skill is when she attacks, Counterblast 1 and choose one of the following skills. A. Call a card from your soul stack. B. Call one of each doll from your soul stack. So ideally you want to call one of each doll, but you can actually toolbox your soul to call something else. So there are actual builds out there that focus on just CB1 calling anything from the soul. I mean, it's actually out there, you can see it both in D and in premium, it's actually not that bad. But in the ideal aspect and following what it's meant to do, you would want to call one of each doll. So yeah, just go ahead and follow what the designer notes said then. For our Grade 3s, we obviously play 1 Tamayura for the right deck and 3 more for the main deck. Persona right is just a good mechanic, so try and use it until you get a cross right, so yeah. Straightforward. Our Grade 2, we play 4 copies of Mimiri and Rarari or something. I don't remember these names, and here's someone I do remember. It's our good friend Onishifuki from our Eugene deck. Yeah, he is back. And of course, we play 1 copy of the Grade 2 Tamayura for the right deck. So this is obviously for the right deck. Onishifuki, welcome back. He is a stealth unit, so he does actually qualify to be in this deck list. When he attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, he gains 5,000 power. We love early aggression, so he's here for that. And he's the only other Grade 2, he's the only Grade 2 in this deck against power. So you are going to be quite upset if you just swing with nothing but the dolls. They're quite weak on their own. So Onishifuki is here to lend them a bit of offensive strength and to show them that ninjas are also stealthy. For the rest of our Grade 2s is the 2 dolls, Mimimi and Rarari. You do want to play them with 4 each. There is no compromise for this. It's really simple. They have 2 skills. One of them is when they are retired from the Guardian Circle, you slide them into your soul. From the creators of Ashada, they bring you once again another way of sliding into your soul stack. So it's pretty interesting that they did this. You don't actually get to call them, you don't actually get to put them back in the soul if you're retired from the rear guard. So if you're using Tamayura's skill to extend doll over doll, you will actually just end up minusing. So just keep that in mind, that that's an actual issue for this deck. If you try and drag it onto a late game, that is an actual problem. But the other skill is that this one, when called to the rear guard circle, if you have the other copy, if you have the other doll, Soul Blast 2, you draw. This one is, if you have the other doll, Soul Blast 2, you retire 1. Soul Blast 2 is quite heavy, but considering the fact that you can toolbox which effect you want, it's not bad. You either have a snipe or a draw, so appreciate it. Our Grade 1 lineup, we play 4 copies of Foxtail. We play 4 PGs. We can play the start deck one because it is a stealth. We play 4 copies of our old friend Tamayura Dbt05 and 1 copy of our grade 1 Tamayura. Let's break it down. Tamayura is a grade 1. We played the start deck PG because it's actually a stealth, so yes, budget beware. We play 4 copies of Tamayura Dbt05 because it's a stealth as well, and Tamayura Dbt05 is actually one of the strongest stealths. Here's a fun fact for you. A lot of Dragon Empire's grade 1 double rare staples are all stealth. So if you are actually looking to see what staples you need, spoilers, it's all. Tamayura Dbt05's skill is, at the end of the battle, this unit boosts, you card +1 and retire this unit. Search your deck for same card as your Vanguard, add it to your hand. You can call this card from as early as turn 1 or 2, but realistically, you only use this skill to target the grade 3 Tamayura, since there is no actual logical reason to play any other version of Tamayura in the main deck. So in this way, you can actually guarantee your persona right so that your turn 4 can be as painful as Bruce. And you can also multi-attack like Bruce. When are we getting our stealth lemon? Last one is Foxtail. Foxtail's effect is very simple. When placed, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, add a glitter or stealth card from among them into your soul stack. Then you shuffle the deck. So this is the main way you send your all the other dolls into your soul. It's a nice one place. Anything else you might want to consider is quite straightforward. Because we are playing so much stealth in the main deck, you feasibly cannot fail. So even if you don't find a doll, you still soul charge something selectively. So this is something you should certainly keep in mind. You can even soul charge a copy of herself, because if you call her from the soul, you actually can loop this effect. Which is why Tamayura, if you don't actually find a doll early enough, you can actually choose this as an optimal target as a way to set up for maybe a more deadlier doll beatdown in the future. And for our grade 0s, we obviously play the King, Drug Vader, and then we play 4 copies of our draw, 4 copies of our crit, 4 copies of our heal, 3 copies of our stealth front, and then we also play our Tamayura starter. So it's really quite straightforward. We're playing Rainbow because we actually can in this deck. You actually do want a front row to actually bloom and go straight. You also want the crits, but at the same time, you also do need your draws because you are actually quite piece reliant in this deck. I never actually reached the situation where I chose, just 8 crit, 3 draw, 4 heals, 1 OT. It never feasibly ended up that way as much as I would have expected. So I still feel that you can actually do this. This is a stealth, so do keep that in mind. If you still want to play 8 crits or 8 fronts, I feel it's up to you, but I feel this arrangement is actually pretty okay. And last but not least, yes, we are not done with this deck yet. It is our spell, the Fox Art. So this thing is actually a blitz order. You play this to Soul Blast 2. You choose your Vanguard, it gets the skill that your front row gets your opponent's front row gets minus 10k. So effectively, it's just a Shiryuki. You can actually search this out with the grade 1 Tamayura. So you can actually fight back multi-attack waves. You can actually choose when you want to use it. It is a pretty good option. We played at 4th, but very honestly, you will only use it once to twice max per game. So yeah, just something for you to keep in mind. If you have extra, just discard them for your right decks, your PGs, whatever. And there you go. Another very short Cray Cross Epic deck profile. They're all very straightforward. There's only a few of them with a few nuances, and even those are just too tiring. Like, I'm never going to do a Chaos deck profile realistically. It's going to take years. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.